Estimate S sub 8 of the alternating series, -1 to the n, 1 over 2 to the n power. State the error R sub n. Since n start with 0, n in this case is 7 only. S sub 8 is the sum of the first 8 terms. The first term is n0 and the last term is n equals 7. And this is 0.6640625. The remainder theorem states that the remainder is less than the next unused term, which is b sub 8, which is 1 over 256, or 0.00390625. But observe that -1 to the n times 1 over 2 to the n is -1 over 2 raised to the n power. This is geometric with the ratio -1/2 and the initial value 1. The absolute value of the ratio is less than 1, so the series converges. And so the sum is a over 1 minus r, which is 2/3. The remainder is the difference between the actual and the partial sum, which is 2/3 minus 0.6640625. And this will give us 0.00260417, which is less than 0.0039 that we obtained earlier. Note that we need the series to converge to do this. And so if we didn't see that it was a geometric series, we can use the alternating series test with a sub n equals -1 to the n times 1 over 2 to the n, and b sub n is simply 1 over 2 to the n. The first condition is obvious because b sub n plus 1 is 1 over 2 to the n plus 1, which is clearly less than b sub n equals 1 over 2 to the n, because 2 to the n plus 1 is greater than 2 to the n. The second condition is also obvious because the limits at n go to infinity of b sub n is 0, 1 over a very large number. And so by the alternating series test, the series converges. We can use the alternative method to check the first condition. The continuous function is 1 over 2 to the x, or 2 to the negative x. The derivative is minus ln of 2 over 2 to the x, which is always negative. And if the derivative is negative, then the original function is decreasing, showing that the next term is less than the previous term.